Y'all know how I know my family is in this? They got something to do with this? Cause my brother, right? The one that had all his kids at home, about 9 or 10 of them, like he was the doctor, and they didn't have social security cards or birth certificates. They couldn't go to school. They couldn't get a job. They couldn't do shit because him and his wife didn't get them social securities and birth certificates. He would come over here. Now, he's the type of person, he got a different way of thinking about spiritual things. Now, he's the type that takes the Bible literally. If they say, if your eye offends you, pluck it out. If your hands offend you, cut it off. He will put a patch on his eye, right? And one of his hands he had tied up. He done tied that hand so much that it's kind of deformed now because he took the scripture literally, right? Whatever, right? Anyway, God made you perfect. Now, if you look at your hand, you going on your own thinking, you'd have messed up a good part of what God gave you. But anyway, I digress. What I want to say is that he will come over here all the time. Now, he has his way of thinking about spiritual things, and I have my way of thinking about spiritual things. Nobody can convince me to believe how they do. And I don't care if you don't believe how I do. And you have the right to believe however you like. I love the debate. I love the conversation, actually. I'm very intellectual, if you haven't noticed, right? So we would talk. From time to time, he would pull out a map. And he would say that he could follow people on this map. He could tell you where you were on this map, right? He also used to tell me that I had a green jacket and that I needed to find a man with a green jacket. He said his wife had a red jacket. He said my husband had a red jacket and me and him are not compatible. Like he made a good choice with the person that he chose to marry. I think people should really stay in their own shit, especially when they shit stinks, right? But you all in somebody else's Kool-Aid and don't even know the flavor. But you meddling all over here like they tend to do. Well, back to what I was saying. One day we were sitting here talking and he had this map saying that, he could trace people's, spiritual man on this map. Now, I know people can do a lot of things spiritually. You'll be surprised some of the gifts that people have spiritually. How they choose to use those gifts is another thing, right? I know they thought they had my spiritual man mapped out on point on this map that this nigga and all the rest of them that he convinced he could do this shit. Because he that type of person. He think that he is God's number one guy. But, he's not upright. Right? You're not upright. Right? Right. Anyway, with that being said, they got weird religious beliefs. I'm going to say religious because God ain't in it. Anytime your intentions are to harm someone, God ain't in that. So whatever they serve is demonic. And this nigga thought he had me pinpointed, knew my next move, knew everything. I did tell y'all he lived here good by himself for a long time. Maybe liked it a lot, right? Wouldn't you? You ain't doing shit. You got to pay no bills. You ain't got to do shit. You just live here, right? With a whole lot of other perks. But I'm going to say this. If you're going to trap somebody's spiritual man on a map, make sure you know where you're starting at. Because I would hate for your what is that thing they call that helps you get around? Your guide to be off-centered. Have your motherfucking ass smoking cigarettes, nigga. Going the wrong motherfucking way, nigga. Which way did he go? Which way did he go? So I think they went. I think they went. I think they went. I think they went that way. No, the bitch they went that way, nigga. Ha! That nigga be on this. It's just gonna make it. I'm gonna make it happen. He can convince you of some shit though, if you ain't wise. He can convince you of some shit if you ain't wise. He can convince you of some shit if you ain't